Lance, what's going on?
Dude, that 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 countdown was a lot faster this time. How are you doing, bro?
I'm good. Episode 71 of RT Dialogue.
Whoa. Septuagint +1.
Yeah, that's right. I hope people listen to the last one, episode 70 with Dr. David Taylor. That was awesome.
That was great. That was awesome. I'm still thinking about it.
It is. It was great. We got a special guest, but before you introduce her, let's walk through a couple announcements because we were
first we have to start off with saying I was wrong. You know, I was wrong. That's what I'm going to start off with that. I was wrong, Rhett. Is that okay? Can I be wrong?
We were kind of wrong. We were in the ballpark.
Yeah.
So RT Summit 2027 Malibu at Pepperdine.
It's still there.
It's still there, but it is March 4th and 5th, which is a Thursday, Friday.
Thursday, Friday.
Not 5th and 6th because we don't have it on Saturday. That way people can hang out in Malibu, make it a weekend, and just works better with the scheduling in terms of campus. So the website will probably be up and running by June 1st for early bird registration, maybe earlier. So we'll announce that. And we know for sure all day Thursday, all day Friday will be the training and the conference. And that Wednesday night, we will probably do something, but it'll be loose affiliated because we're not doing a big dinner like we did last time in Amarillo. It's too big. It's too cost prohibitive. But we'll probably have some type of hangout or gatherings for people who are coming into town that evening or that day.
Absolutely. And Rhett, I heard you just had that fun thing in Texas.
Oh yeah. So shout out to my Texas people. There were 25 of us at dinner in Austin Friday night, Mexican food. And then we had a 7-hour CU training on forgiveness on Saturday with Dr. Ericsson, which was awesome. We went super deep into the forgiveness model and some new things that Eric's kind of been working in that area. And I want to, say thank you to specifically Stacy Rachmanis and Brian Sneed of Hill Country Bible Church. That group, they've RT trained, or they've had RT trained from you and others, about 10, 12 staff members.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be a huge epicenter, I think, for us there in Austin. And then also a special thank you to Carrie Mead, who practices here in Trophy Club, who also helped organize the event. And we had 22 show up at training. Those extra 3 were
going to get Carrie Mead on here.
Yeah, we'll get Carrie on here. So anyways, Austin was great. I left feeling like my cup was full, but like pretty exhausted because we were in it pretty deep. And I got to see a lot of people that I don't actually know in person yet and meet them face to face. And, I just hope that our community here in Texas and other communities around the country are gathering in their local RT little hubs. I think it's important to meet face to face when you can. So
it's the best.
Yep. Excited. And then training's coming up.
Yeah. So we want to highlight level 2 training with Stephanie Levens. I almost said it wrong again, man. Stephanie is doing a training June 4th and the 5th and August 6th and the 7th for level 2. Okay. We're going to talk a little bit about level 2 training today. So excited for that training coming up with Stephanie. So yeah, make sure they usually fill up pretty quickly. So if you've been thinking about getting level 2 trained, I would say go.
Yeah. Yep. Awesome. I think that's it today, people. Those are the announcements.
Boom. Come on. Guys, today we got a fun guest. I got to meet this guest through a level 2 training. It was really exciting. I really like this up and coming phenom therapist, Laura Matheson. Did I say it wrong?
No, I just love that you did introduce me that way. Thank you.
The phenom.
Hey, you gotta have some fun accolade there. but she's got a lot of accolades. She practices up in the Pacific Northwest in Renton or Renton, depending on which part of town you're in, Washington. I really enjoy getting to meet her. She is actually a bilingual therapist. So I know a lot of you are, I get requests here and there of people looking for bilingual therapists. So if you need a Spanish speaking RT therapist, we're talking to one today. Muy bien.
Muy bien.
Yeah.
Do you think she heard my awesome Spanish speaking last episode?
I did. I was impressed.
Yeah, pretty bad. I'm working on it.
But I'm excited to hear her story. She practices up in Washington area. She has her own practice, so we might get to talk about that today. She likes work with kids, so that's great. And how many kiddos do you have now, Laura?
I actually don't have a lot of kiddos right now. I have about 2 right now on my caseload. So it's been, I have a couple teens that I've been seeing. I'm located near a high school, so I've been getting a lot more teens referred over to me. But but historically, I've been almost all kiddos. And now I'm seeing a lot of adults too. RT has brought some adults into my practice.
You're adulting.
I'm adulting now. I love it. Nice. I love it. I love them all though, you know.
Yeah. Well, I really appreciate it, Laura. She dove in pretty quickly with RT in our level 2 training. So excited to have you on today. I'm sure we'll get to talk about a lot of fun things. So welcome.
Thank you. Thank you guys. I'm so excited to be here and talk to some experts in RT. Yeah, it's awesome.
Well, we use that word experts loosely around here.
I mean, Rhett is really smart. So.
Laura, no pressure, but who are we going to get to? Who's going to start the Pacific Northwest face-to-face gathering?
I mean, it could happen. I know that there's one in Oregon that I've been wanting to check out with. Right now I'm part-time mommy, part-time therapist. So I haven't gotten the chance to go yet because it kind of interrupts. I need to have it scheduled with my son's naps essentially to be able to make it there. But yeah, I think that'd be really cool. There are a couple RT therapists up here I know that I think
there's a lot. Yeah.
Do it. Yeah. Yeah.
You got Jason Wilkinson. Yeah. The second Thursday of the month, they do an online, and then Justin Little and his cohort there in Oregon. So there's some cool stuff coming out of Pacific Northwest. So
dude, and Dr. Shaw, guy is such a character. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Enough of that. So I'm going to start with the first question. So you just finished up level 2 training, right? In January, correct? So you're several months outside of that training. And I'm kind of curious, like anything in particular that after you get out of training a few months, something that like you're finding, I don't know, that really like stuck with you and has really empowered your work. And the flip side, maybe you're also, man, that is hard. Like that piece on level 2 training is really hard. I'm feeling stuck. I need to work in that area a little more.
Oh man, those are great questions. Yeah, I mean, so Lance was the leader of our training, our brave leader.
This is our feedback session. This is where I'm going to learn what I could have done better.
I don't have too much too much negative to say. I was really I'll throw a quick little story there before I go into it. That on our first day, Lance showed up and he had been sick all week and he had a little barf bucket.
Dude, it was brutal.
And I was like, this man is impressive, dedicated to this work. I'm so impressed with him because I don't think I would have been there if I had needed a barf bucket next to me. So that was my introduction to Lance. But it was an incredible training. I remember I left and I felt so refreshed in the RT principles and in applying it with my clients. I felt like I was able to get some really good sessions going that in places where I'd been feeling kind of stuck before with some clients. I was able to bring some new elements. He introduced me to some, I'd always been using what is it called? Reparenting. Had been kind of my thing that I had done with all my clients. And so then using future self and other techniques to get to the peace cycle it helped me get unstuck with quite a few people who just going into the family that they weren't ready to go into like family stuff to get to that place, I guess would be the best way of explaining it. And another really cool thing is I don't think there's a lot of trainings that talk about the integration of faith into therapy. And since going to that training, I felt really empowered. Funny thing about our training was there was a whole group of people that were working at a church together
This is the church where Rat was.
Really?
Hill Country Bible Church.
Yeah, in Austin, Hill Country Bible Church. Yeah.
Yeah. So all the characters, he got to hang out with them this last weekend.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, they're wonderful people, aren't they?
That's awesome. Yeah, that's hilarious.
Yeah, though I've been chatting with this one of them. Me and her are going to get together, I think, and talk more about doing RT with kids. But
who's that?
I'm like I'm so embarrassed. Like whenever I get put on the spot to remember people's names, I just blank on their names. So I could probably tell you in like 10 minutes what her name is. Was
Amanda Tips in that?
Yes,
Okay.
Amanda.
Yeah. It had to be Amanda.
It had to be Amanda. I was sitting across from Amanda at dinner, and she was sharing her stories about working with adolescents and stuff.
Yes.
And they were amazing stories. So when you said another person, I was like, I bet it was Amanda.
Yes. Yeah. She's an incredible children's therapist. Getting to watch her a little bit working with kids, I was so impressed by her ability to engage with them and just having them run around the room. She's great. So yeah, her and I are going to chat. But yeah, but going back to the level 2 training, I think, it was just empowering to be able to hearing other people talk about bringing their faith into the room. And I was able to, again, get some other clients that have had really unstuck through talking about the scriptures, talking about like, okay, this is what your mom said about you. This is what your dad said about you. What does Christ say about you? Yeah. And being able to do reparenting in that sort of way has been very, very impactful in some of my work with some clients. So can't recommend level 2 training enough. It's a little nerve wracking because you have to record and present your work in front of people.
Yeah.
So that part, but Lance did an amazing job of making it a really calm environment. He talked about like, I'm assuming this is your worst work, which was really relaxing to me. He's like, this is a place for us to just look at this and we're not going to like make a bunch of judgments about if something went south in that session. This is what we're here for, right? Is to talk about it. And it was really cool. I don't think there's a lot of live supervision trainings that I've been to that you get to like sit through a session with like a person who's really knowledgeable in that particular theory and get direct feedback. So that was incredibly useful to me and to those clients that we were able to review. Yeah.
I don't think that feeling ever goes away. Like no matter how old you get, like when your peers and people you respect are watching you do the work, even though they've provided a very loving and safe environment for you to do that, it's still like, yeah, we all get into our pain cycles when we're being observed. It's wild.
Sorry.
That's okay.
I did not know that could happen on my computer. It just happened.
But Lance does a good job. Yeah. And we all got to see, you weren't there, but in last year, 2 years ago. Oh no, man. When was it? February 2025. Man, time is flying. We got to all watch Lance work on stage in front of a room full of like 180 people. Watched Lance and Michael Cox and Terry, right, work with a person. And so, were you nervous then, Lance?
Oh yeah. It was it was live too. So it was like a live, like like, we knew our participant, but we didn't know how they would respond to the work or what would happen. And, so that was pretty exciting. So yeah, I always think, whenever you're presenting material, for me, I like to show my bad work. I mean, I don't mind being like showing the good stuff too, but like, I'm there to learn. And if I'm showing the work where I'm struggling, like here, I don't know what's going on with this client. And I'm trying to get better here. Help me out. I think it's always nice to show your really good work and be like, oh yeah. Woo-hoo. But then the worst part is when you show your really good work. And, I've done this with Terry a couple of times, and he's like, wow. Okay. And you're like, oh man, I thought this was going to be kudos to you, Lance. But anyways, I love level 2. I love showing work. I think showing work is that thing, when we look at, people that want to get better, there's this, thing called deliberate practice. And in deliberate practice, you've heard the rule of like 10,000 hours. That it takes 10,000 hours to be a master of anything, right? That's the clinical thing that they talk about. Well, one of the important things about those 10,000 hours is a bunch of those hours, it's really important for them to be, reviewed, in order to grow and get better, you need to set little goals for yourself. And, you need to have someone giving you feedback on how you're doing it. Cause if I could walk 10,000 hours, in a couple of years, but my walking might not improve. But if I'm getting someone giving me feedback, that's where we get better. And I feel like when people notice what you're doing in therapy, oh, okay, so this is a moment where you could have slowed it down.
Yeah,
all right, I'm gonna be more mindful of that next time I jump in the room. So I'm all about getting the feedback. So definitely do level 2. Yeah. So, but Laura, we didn't get to hear about your pathway into RT yet. I like your pathway in. So why don't you be able to share? Yeah. There was somebody that really needed you to go through level 2 training, or not, to go through and learn about restoration therapy.
Yeah. So I think I know what you're referring to, but honestly, me was probably the person that needed the most. But,
yeah, probably that too.
But no, so I went to Fuller Seminary, and I was one of the lucky people that got to train under Terry. I remember just being so amazed and impressed by this theory that he developed, through his teaching, I was able to come up with my own peace and pain cycle. And it's really funny because at the time when I was at the seminary, I'd just gone through a really rough breakup. And, a year or so later, I met my husband and was talking about it. He's like, I don't think I would have, I really truly don't believe that he probably would be with me if I hadn't gone through the RT cycle that I went through and learned about myself and these things I was doing. Cause it was, that past self. I mean, there were some things that I was dealing with from childhood, and, learning these new ways of how I can engage in my peace and be in my peace, even when things are throwing me off and I'm feeling unwanted or I'm feeling unloved, has been truly amazing. And it's so funny, since I was telling you guys, since I've done the level 2 training, sometimes now when I'm off, my husband will be like, are you in your pain cycle right now? And I'm like, yeah, I'm in my pain cycle. I got to go back to the peace cycle. I got to get back in. Got to get back in the right place. So, yeah, that's my journey.
Nice. What year were you at Fuller again?
I graduated 2018.
2018. Mm-hmm. That would have been, I'm trying to think of the characters I would know from that. Was Jacob in your class, or Kelly Robinson?
I don't remember either of those names. Those
okay.
Yeah.
Shout out to those guys. We love you.
The cool thing about, and this is I think why we do the podcast, this idea of the RT community. I was thinking about, because Lance and I, a few weeks ago, we had Brad Stolberg on from the author of The Way of Excellence. And one of the things he says is, yeah, there you go. Lance is showing the book. Really, to master a craft, he says, what you need to do is you need to embed yourself in a community and at least spend the next 10 years there going deep into the work, you know? And those 10,000 hours, you know, it's not just a random 10,000 hours, which I think everyone kind of took it as that when Malcolm Gladwell published his book about that. But in the research, in that book Peak by Anders Ericsson, they talk about the deliberate. You have to be it's an intentional 10,000 hours of practice. And I think that's why it's important in RT that we do all these trainings, that we get in communities, that we practice together, you know, and this is a community that we can go like really deep with and become really good at the work. So I'm glad you got into level 2 and you got a good group of people up there in the Pacific Northwest to like dig in deep with. Yeah. It's awesome. And sorry, that's my plug for people listening to dig deep into the RT community. Absolutely. And train.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think the other thing I'm hearing from you, Laura, is this work isn't just this like fun therapy model that you saw and that, you know, it's really, it actually is something that changed you.
It changed my life. Absolutely.
Yeah. And I think that's the thing that is so novel about restoration therapy, that it is something that has invited not only for us to use in a room, but to actually live out in our own lives. And that's something that it probably makes you an amazing therapist. It's probably part of your shtick. It's like, you know, not only do you talk about the product, but you use it as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so funny. My husband, I'm talking about him a lot today. He's going to love listening back to this and hear me say all these things. But he'll sometimes when I'm struggling with things, he'll be like, what would you tell your client to do in this situation? And I'm like,
wow.
And it always like, I always like pause and I'm like, I would tell them to like think about the present moment and who they are now and not who they were in the past or this or that. And I'm like, man, I'm a good therapist. That helped me.
What's your husband do for work?
He's a chemical engineer, so nothing even remotely related to this. But I think
chemical engineer.
Maybe I think he would be a really great therapist. Yeah.
One thing I'm curious about, I know a little bit about your history, just doing some research. So at the University of Washington, it looks like you got into some mentorship or qualitative analysis and stuff with Marsha Linehan, who people don't know is the founder of DBT.
Yeah, that's right.
Which is obviously a significant model. Lots of people work out of that model. Lots of colleagues that I practice with here. That's, you know, primarily what they use in their work, especially with adolescents and stuff. And so I'm kind of curious about you. You're exposed to that and you're working in deep in that model. And I'm assuming you still use it and stuff, but is there anything, I don't know, that differentiates like RT and DBT in some ways that you think are interesting, or some ways that they there's a synthesis between the two?
Yeah, I definitely think so I'll say a couple of things. So DBT is an amazing theory. It's like the book of DBT is this huge book, right? She has like a million different handouts that you can give to your clients and things. And like there's for everything. Your client brings something, you can go to her book and probably find a specific intervention to that. Yeah, there it is.
Nancy's holding it up. The Dialectical Behavior Therapy Skills Workbook.
Oh, yeah, a great book and a great theory. But I think one of the things that I really enjoy about RT is you have this sort of one overarching understanding of a person's behavior, right? So there's you're not having to like refer over to this or that, or like, did you use this skill or did you use that skill? Like, what could have you done in this? Because you're just using the 4 steps, the peace and the pain. Mm-hmm. And I think that really helps to organize people when they're feeling all caught up. I remember Terry talked a lot about the content versus the process in therapy. And, you know, you can get really caught up in the content in the moment when your client's coming in, they're talking about my mom did this, my dad did this happened, that happened, and I was here and this was over. And so being, you know, or with couples, like they talk about this one specific fight. And when you can bring them back to how does that fit in your cycle? We know that you get stuck in this cycle. This is this is what we know you do. How does it fit in there? Oftentimes they go, oh, you're right. I was back in my pattern again. And here's how I can get out of that pattern. So it gives you like I guess talking about the 10,000 hours, right? It gives them one thing to really work on and perfect versus trying to pull all these different coping skills that sometimes don't come to your mind in that moment when you're really overwhelmed and in that place of pain. But still DBT has been, incredible. I love it. Marcia's a character. She was great. I got to have dinner at her house once and
really
she offered us all wine, and we were all undergraduates. And then she's like, "It's fake wine, you guys!" So she's a really funny lady. It was really cool getting to meet her.
That's cool.
And after her. Yeah.
I think DBT has a lot of their mindfulness practices I think it's really great. This is one of the things that if you're working with, particularly like high level personality disorders, it's sometimes easier to find a DBT group to kind of refer those people to. So I find that getting them in the here and now can be really helpful. So I agree with you that DBT has some really cool practices. But I like RT works as a better roadmap, but you can always steal things that flows into that. And I can't believe you got to hang out with Marcia.
It was
at her house.
It was crazy. But it's so funny. Like the difference between her and Terry, though, as people is like so interesting. These two founders of these really cool therapies, but just the personalities are so different.
Oh, really?
Like, unpredictable. Yeah. And Terry's like very grounding and calming as a person, I feel like. So, but thinking about right, you were asking about like the similarities.
Mm-hmm.
I do think there are similarities too in like the cognitive behavioral kind of thing of like, I think there is some similarity of you're getting stuck in these certain like thoughts, right? About yourself. Yeah. I'm unlovable. I'm not, I'm this, I'm that. And we're kind of working to change those cognitions into something like having specific things that we're changing them into, right? And then that changes your behavior, which leads to alterations in your relationship. So there is some similar. I do feel like there is some similarities in the two theories.
I think one of the things I was thinking about was just, something that is I think unique about RT, but I think other models would say it's similar. Is that I think we're not just after changing our thinking, right? We're after a thinking, like you said, that is embodied.
Yeah.
In a way that leads to different types of actions. And I think when I'm working with clients, it's easy for me to just get into this mindset where I'm trying to get them, it seems like just to change their thinking. And if they change their thinking, then things will flow from that. But what I do love about RT and what I think I'm still working on as a therapist is trying to help people embody that thinking in a way that feels concrete, where it moves from head to heart, and that's, I know in level 2, you guys do a lot of that, right? Lance, you're trying to get them to practice a little more and do some more embodied work.
Yeah. I feel like with level 2, what happens is we go from this model that we look at, and it's very structured and all these things. And I think with level 2, what we do is we find out, so what does it look like when Laura does level 2 or when Laura does restoration therapy? So it's very personalized, where the model enters the person, right? And we figure out our own way of implementing that model. And I've seen so many people over the years after level 2, they're like, oh, I'm allowed to do this. And like, yes, you are. I know it's a model that's like very clear on like the roadmap and how to do it, but there is flexibility in how we flow it, particularly with our personalities, our faith, the things that interest us, all these things give us a way in. So yeah, I'd agree for sure that level 2 is very much this thing that allows for a person to really find themselves in the theory. Yeah.
Absolutely. It's really cool getting to watch other people and how they use that. They use the theory, but it looks so different in some ways and so similar in some ways, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, one of the things, I know you like working with it is it adolescents? Like, is there a specific age group that you love?
Oh my gosh. I mean, there's definitely a group that I struggle with more and a group that I love more. I'd say I struggle with preteens a little bit. I think that they like bring me back to that like awkward preteen stage of my life.
Oh my gosh, really? Is it like hard?
I just feel like they don't always like I'm not as cool, so I have to really work to like ground myself to be present. I love after 13, I would say like 13 and up, the self-discovery, them figuring out who they are, who they want to be, as we start to enter into college, that independence from parents, helping them navigate that transition. And yeah, just figuring out who am I as this my own entity in this world, right? Is really cool. I love that.
Yeah. I know you said earlier, it sounds like you and Amanda maybe want to explore some stuff, and you had listened to the podcast with Dr. Corynne. I can never say Corynne. Sorry, I can say her last name. I never say it correctly.
Keirns.
Yeah. Is there, like, if you were thinking about your work in RT, is there, like, I don't know, a specific area that you're like, I want to take RT and I really want to explore this work with this age group? Like, is there any aspect of the RT model that you're like, this is what I want to do?
Absolutely. I think one of the coolest things about RT is the way in which it incorporates attachment and secure attachment into the theory. And something that I do with a lot of my clients is when I work with kids, I do parenting sessions alongside the individual therapy with kids, because my goal is to basically keep kids from developing their pain cycles before they're even, they're even starting to form, right? So how can we get to this place? Terry talks about like the two questions that we kind of are helping people ask is like, who am I and am I safe? Right? Like, and I always tell my clients, my parents I'm working with, if your child knows that they're loved and they're safe, you're like on the right path, like you are winning. And so I think helping parents understand how to give their children those messages is really, really important in helping them form these secure attachments, these good understandings of themselves and their understanding of how they want to be in the world.
Yeah. I like how you take time even with to even talk about, okay, so how do we do that? And you kind of even like name like, here, do this. Yeah. Do you want to mention that?
Yes. Yeah. So one thing that I talk a lot, like the number one thing that I bring to all my sessions with my parents, like the number one thing I've asked them is like, are you doing quality time with your kids? Are you having one-on-one time with your child, not the other sibling present? We're talking, and it's not even like a long period of time. For younger, below age 10, it's like 5 to 10 minutes. For older kids, it's that's daily. And then for older kids, it's like 15 to 20 minutes, 3 times a week. And we're talking about just being fully present and in tune with them. And, when you're doing this, being really intentional in your time with them. So you're imitating what they're doing as they're playing. You're providing specific praise. Hey, I noticed that you made that car go so fast. Wow, that, we're letting them know I am fully present with you. I am impressed with you. I am engaged with you. And we try to avoid asking too many questions or giving commands during that, which can be
don't make such a mess.
The quality time's no longer, like when we start to bring those things, right? It's no longer me being fully present. And this is true with our relationships with our spouses, right? We know that we need to be bringing positivity and love. And it's the same thing with our kids. We need to be bringing, avoiding commanding or questioning, them and just allowing them to lead and express their emotions and express their feelings freely to you. I get so many parents saying like, my kid doesn't talk to me, you know, like they won't tell me what they're feeling. And I think it's because we get so anxious as parents to know, and we start asking all these questions. What are you feeling? What do you think about this? How was your day at school? How is it? You know, the kid's like,
it's like an interrogation.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Say more now.
Yeah. And so when we say like, let's play a game together, that creates this free space for them during the game that all of a sudden they'll start popping out things that maybe, you know, happen during the day, emotions that they're feeling, what they're experiencing. It's incredibly powerful. You know, it's a lot of what we do as therapists, right? When we work with kids, it's kind of, we sit with them, we play some games, and then we start to unravel what's going on as they become more calm and centered with us. Right.
Totally.
Yeah.
I like that. I think, just having the language with the parent to say, here's what love and trust means in a relationship, especially a parenting relationship. And here's some things you can do to promote that. Mm-hmm. I think is really empowering, you know. Even in some of my marriage workshops, or when I've talked, I just talk about the idea of promoting love and trust in your relationship. And I think that's what I love about RT. You know, now we have this language of love and trust, this identity, safety, and here are some practical steps. And I think, you know, as you say, you work with a lot of parents, I'm like, this stuff isn't always obvious to us as parents, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, we kind of know it in hindsight. If someone were to sit us down and talk about it, we might be like, of course. But to have the language that kind of drives the behavior and gives us that mindfulness around it, that's really powerful. I think it's cool that you're able to do that. Do parents seem pretty responsive for the most part when you sit down and talk about that?
Sometimes they're like, I'll say this. Once they start doing it, the feedback I get is like, things improve almost universally, no matter what the kid's bringing in, like whatever they were coming in for, it does tend to get better. But I think I'll sometimes get a couple different responses. Like one thing I'll get is like, oh, we're already doing quality time all the time with our kids. And I'll start to kind of question them about it. But it's like these big events, right? They feel like they need to like take their kid to the mall and go shopping or take them skiing. And then the kid's like melting down and it's this whole event and you're not really engaging with them and just being present with them. And when I talk to kids about, or like at least for me, like when I think about my childhood, like what's my memories with my dad, I think about every night he'd play like Kings in the Corner with me, which is just like a card game. And we would have these conversations and he'd teach me things and he'd show me how to like get better at the game and just be like engaged with me. Like that's what I remember more than like these big, you know, events where he took me this place or that place a lot of the time. So I think I get pushback sometimes like, well, I am doing that. And I'm like, we're talking about daily 15 minutes, really engaged. Like that is where it's that daily, that predictability, that trustworthiness. Every day I'm going to have time with you, or 3 times a week, I guess. Sometimes with the older kids, I'm going to have time with you. That's going to allow, I don't know if you can hear my little one up there. A little.
Yeah. How are you doing? Are you in your pain cycle listening to that?
I think it's nap time, so he's resisting nap a little.
Oh man, I feel like he's asking for a little quality time right now.
I think he is, honestly. We'll have a little book reading.
Live time.
This is what I love about the podcast. There's something going on with one of us usually, and often like Lance's dog is like knocking at the door, and Lance has to go let him in.
Which she already did.
Yeah,
she did.
She's here.
Well, it's like Lance is usually watching Super Kitties with his dog and Julia during the day, during the week, right, Lance? It's quality time.
Yeah, man. Dude, we actually watched Super Kitties this morning. It was a really good episode. Very encouraging. But I really like what you're bringing up with this whole case. I mean, did you guys ever read Power of Showing Up by Daniel Siegel and Tina Payne Bryson?
Yeah.
Like, it's such a great book. A lot
of
the
also
principles
wrote the Whole Brain Child for reference.
Yeah.
Okay.
And in the book, their whole thing, first off, it's such a great book to read, like to recommend to clients, because it first talks about helping you to understand your own stuff, which is exactly what Terry and Sharon would say. Mm-hmm. Like, hey guys, what's the pain cycle you're bringing into the room with your kids? And so they talk about attachment in the beginning. And it's really nice because they actually lower the bar, on this journey of perfection. Right. And they're like, no, it's more about how do we repair, I think they had 4 S's they talk about. It's safe, secure, seen, and safe, secure, and soothed. So they hit these 4 S's on how to do these things with your kids. Mm-hmm. But I found it to be really helpful, with how I'm raising Julia, and how I encourage my clients on how to connect with their kids. So I would definitely recommend it. And I think you're hitting a lot of those points that he talks about. And he's like, you only have to hit 1 and 4, right?
Yeah.
If you get 1 and 4 right, your kid there's a higher chance of security built up in them. Really, it's like baseball. It's not it's not, we're not playing a game of, I'm trying to think of high stakes games where you have to get it right away.
Yeah. I remember one thing that I've always had emphasized to me is this idea of it's not about being a perfect parent. It's about being good enough, right? Showing up as much as you can. And I know Terry talks about, when he talks about the predictability and consistency, it's 85 to 90% of the time is when we want to be predictable and have successful relationships. And so, knowing that, sometimes there's probably going to be a day where you don't do the quality time. There might be something that will come up and it just won't happen, but trying as much as possible to show up and be there and be, like you said, be in a calm place, right? Where you can not be in your pain. I mean, that's a huge part of it, of this, right? When you show up for them, because sometimes when you're doing this stuff, they'll throw things out or things will happen and you'll want to start correcting and saying, no, don't do that. Stop. What are you doing? They'll, start acting bizarre, just doing things that kids do. And we have to look at ourselves and be do I need to be saying no right now to what's happening? Or is it okay for them just to allow them to freely express? Maybe they are needing to express something that's going on for them right now. And I'm going to give them that space to do it.
Mm. It's such a long-term game too. I was saying earlier, my daughter's 18, freshman in college. Mm-hmm. And, obviously I'm not a perfect parent. My wife's not a perfect parent. She's better than me, but she's not, we're not perfect. But I think the consistency over all the years of being there at bedtime, playing games, doing prayers, it's not that everything is magical all of a sudden. But you do that because also then at 18, all of a sudden they give you a call one night to talk about what's going on in their life.
Yeah.
And if you didn't do that for 18 years, it may have not felt safe to do that. And I think sometimes we as parents, we want to be affirmed pretty quickly in all the things that we're doing. But this is really generational stuff that we're working on.
Absolutely. And oh, that's so sweet just to hear that she's giving you those calls. And I think sometimes when you're struggling, right, when things are we look through, like you said, it's a long-term game. And when things are hard, sometimes I'll find my parents are it's harder for them to do this quality time, right? Because the kids, when your kid is really struggling and they're, I don't want to be around you, mom. I don't want to do, I don't want to do this. It's hard to be
Dad, leave me alone.
Yeah. It's hard to keep putting yourself out there. And so I always say, meet them where they're at. If your kid is into video games, as long as it's not a super competitive video game, even if you hate video games, sit with them during that time. Do what they're interested in, and don't use it as a punishment, right? Even if they've had a really rough day and you're just I'm this kid, I'm having such a hard time just like regulating myself right now. You still need to, that's like when they need it the most, when they need us to show up the most is when they're struggling, right? Because we're providing that trustworthiness. We're providing that like, I love you no matter what. We're providing that safe space for them. So they know no matter what happens, like mom and dad are going to be here for me and love me and care for me. But it's a long-term, 18 years is a long time. Right. So, it's also a short time. I feel like it's flying by already for me.
Yeah. The days are long. The years are short.
Yeah. And it's not that, I mean, I guess my point is you consistently show up because you never know when a person, this is where RT is really helpful for me also. And Lance can probably say more to this because he does level 1 training, but in RT, this idea of like fairness, in relationships, we're as parents, we're giving to our kids in a way that we don't expect from them to give to us.
Yeah.
And we just show up. But I think some models, some theories, it's like there's this co-regulation. If my kids are affirming me and I'm on the right track, I'm going to keep doing this work. But Lance, how would you explain that in level 1? Like, what are you saying?
Yeah. I mean, I think this is such a beautiful part of the model that I think a lot of us, we see it a lot in today's society is that, it is not our children's responsibility to regulate us.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And it is the one relationship. There's no other relationship, no other, where we give and we do not take.
Mm-hmm.
There is no take in the parent to child relationship.
Mm-hmm.
It is 100% give, with the hope that what they take from you, that will be given to the next generation. And I mean, it doesn't mean that we don't have correction and all that. Like there is a raising with consequences and the like, but there is not this element. And I think this is where, we see so many other models, like when it comes to parenting, like get it really messy where like, don't you see why mommy's so angry? Because mommy was struggling with this. And that's why mommy got upset with you. And then it puts this like huge load on the child to have to parentify their parent. So that'd probably be one of the biggest things that when it comes to that ledger, that it is 100% give. When you have a child, when we had Julia, it was like, all right, baby, I have this big collection, right, of things that have been passed down to me by my folks. Mm-hmm. And my parents weren't perfect. They were damn good, but like there were things that my parents didn't have. And so I'm grasping in the air for some of this stuff. But there's a hope that each generation would get better. Mm-hmm. And I think that is the hope that we give to our families as we kind of grow them up. So I like your story on video games though. My daughter and Jennifer play video games and I find it so hilarious. Like they play this Lego video game.
Oh yeah.
And they're like, I mean, I don't play it just because I just have to watch them while they're playing. It's more entertaining to me because they're just laughing like out loud, whatever character got blown up or whatever happened. And you're just like, or they're working on the quest together. So they have to like, okay, come over here now, to play, watching them play video games together is super cute.
Wait, what's the story? I don't know the story.
Of Lego?
No, the video games. You said I like the story of video games.
Oh, Laura was talking about like if your kids are playing video games, play with them.
Oh yeah,
right?
Okay. I thought there was like some story from a therapy session that I totally missed out on. That no. Oh man, this happened. Yeah, engage them in what they're
that's
doing.
Like a great and I feel like my daughter and I'm like dying laughing and watching them too, but I think it's like such a bonding thing that they're doing together. They're sitting right next to each other playing. It's so cute.
Yeah. And I mean, like her taking that time to slow down and show interest in what your daughter is interested in, even if it sounds like your wife enjoys it, which is like a win. But even if you don't enjoy it,
she's a big gamer.
Oh, Lego. I think we played Lego Star Wars growing up, and I remember really enjoying that. But I think like sitting with your kids and meeting them where they're at, what they're into, even if it's not what you love, do it for that time, because it lets them know, like, it's that sacrifice, right, of the self, right, where this isn't, you might need to be doing the dishes. You might need to be like, you feel like you need to be doing, I think as parents, we get so wrapped up in all the different things that we need to be doing. And like, you just need to show up for your kid for that time. That's okay. To just be there, enjoy what they enjoy, let them know you care about what they care about. It's powerful. Powerful.
One parenting hack that Stephanie taught me, though, which I think is a beautiful hack, is get your kids into enjoying doing household chores.
That doesn't qualify as quality time, sir.
No, it does. It does. The way Stephanie does it's quality time.
Putting
the dishes away. Like, oh, let's do this. Let's put those dishes away. Yeehaw. Clean our room. Yeehaw.
I'm going to take a left turn here, and because I want to ask the interest in Spanish and why you minored in Spanish at UW, and if you use that regularly in your practice.
Yes. So I did some mission work when I was in high school. And actually prior to that, I was really I've always been a very good student. And I remember I did really poorly in Spanish. And it's really ironic. I did not do well in Spanish. And then when I went on these mission trips and I learned that speaking another language could really help me like connect with other people and other cultures. And I learned to just I loved the culture that I was immersed in. I went to Chile, and I was like, wow, like this is amazing. I'm able to use this language to connect with people. All of a sudden, there was a purpose behind learning the language, and so then I really was like, I think this is. I just felt called into working with Spanish speaking communities. I felt like this was a place that I really enjoyed being a part of, and so. Yeah, I used to see like 70% probably Spanish speaking clients.
Wow.
Now it's less than now. Now I don't see as many just based on the where I'm located at, I think, because I was in just the neighborhoods I was working in were really, there's a lot of people, Spanish speaking people in those neighborhoods. And now the one that I'm in is not as much, but I still do have some, and I love it. I love it. I love it. It's,
that's cool.
Yeah.
So you can practice like throughout the week.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Practice throughout the week. And it's important though. I'm always trying to stay on top of it because I don't want to, I want to be able to really hear people and understand what they're saying in your sessions. It's funny. I'm very fluent in like therapy related things, but then one time my husband wanted me to like order a pizza, and I was like,
pepperoni.
I don't know how to say pepperoni and sauce in Spanish.
Pepperoni. Oh.
So restoration therapy in Spanish is?
Like terapia de restauración.
Okay. That's what I was looking for.
If you were to do like you need to do restoration therapy, if you were like to talk to a client, they're like onboarding and they're like, yo quiero restoration therapy, or what is restoration therapy?
KS
restoration therapy. Like, how would you respond to them in Spanish?
Oh gosh.
We'll see if this airs.
Oh my gosh. I'm like pink pelosa. Es una técnica que ayuda a personas de descubrir sus ciclos de comunicación con sus parejas. Hay ciclos con nuestras parejas a veces que tienen que cambiar. Yeah, that would probably be what I would say.
That's good.
Yeah.
I like it.
Give me more.
More. I'm put on the spot here, man.
No, this is, the reason 71 episodes in and, obviously before the podcast and outside the podcast, it's cool meeting all the different people in the community of RT who are using their unique gifts and just qualities and characteristics in the work that they do professionally and personally. And so it's cool that we have someone like you up in Washington doing the work, doing bilingual therapy work is, working with kids. I'm excited to hear what you and Amanda are going to be up to.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She's got a lot of energy too. And I could see you too. She made this, she came Saturday morning with a pan of sourdough, cinnamon bread that she made. It had some kind of brown sugar or cinnamon on it. It was amazing. Nice. So anyways, you guys are going to be fun. I'm excited to see what you guys are up to.
Nice.
No pressure.
I mean, yeah, we'll see. We haven't had our meet. We haven't been able to schedule something quite yet. So we'll see. But I'm excited too. She's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Laura, we're kind of closing it out here. Any other big thoughts for you on things you'd want to share to our RT Dialogue crew as we're having our finishing moments here?
No, I'm so thankful that I got to be on here today and talk about restoration therapy and the impact that it's had on me. And yeah, definitely do. If you're thinking about doing level 2 training, I would say do it. It's a big step in a journey towards becoming a better therapist, I think. And I don't think you'll regret it at all. And it's a great way to get more involved in the RT community. So highly encourage it.
And you're coming to the summit in March, right?
We'll see. I have to say, when is it? Is it March? It's in March.
Wait, I forgot the dates. What are they, Rhett? Do you know them?
Thursday, March 4th, Friday, March 5th.
That's right.
Maybe Thursday, the night of the 3rd, a gathering of people who are in town. It's on Pepperdine's campus, looking out the ocean. It's gonna be awesome.
Oh, that sounds amazing. Okay, I will do my best to be there for sure.
Yeah, come on, you Pacific Northwest people. Just hop down the coast right there.
Not far.
Not far.
Yeah, Pepperdine's awesome. I love that. I love that campus.
Awesome. Well, everyone listening, you know the drill. We'll have if you see me taking notes over here, that's what I'm doing. We'll have all the show notes up, a link to Laura's website, books we've talked about, things like that. And if you want to be in touch with her.
What's your email address, Laura? How do you want people to contact you?
Yeah. Can I put your email address in the show notes if people want to reach out?
For sure. Absolutely. Okay. Yeah. Laura at newhopetherapypllc.com. So there you go. I'll send it over to you too.
Yeah.
All right.
We need some hope. Bless you.
Amen. We all need hope.
Thanks for being on. Appreciate it.
You.
Cheers.